Hi, this is a video on how to set up a gateway and merchant accounts in OrderWave 2.0. Once you log into OrderWave 2.0 and you see your tools on the left hand side, you're going to click on the settings button followed by the account settings button. That will actually open up a brand new menu structure that gives you quite a few different options, but the option that we're going to focus in on today is the processing link. So you just click on that. In clicking on the processing link, you're going to see a window that comes up that's going to show you all the different merchant accounts that you have set up. This is our test account, so we currently have 11 merchant accounts that are set up. You'll also see different things like account load balance options. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And you'll see the status of each of these merchant accounts. You'll see that some of these are active, some of them are inactive, some of them are paused, some of them require additional setup. So this is actually where you would actually see the status of each one of these merchant accounts. If you want to get rid of one of these accounts, let's say if I want to get rid of this eCardon account, I can actually just click on this delete tab. A window will come up saying, are you sure you want to delete this gateway setting? And I'll say yes. And you can see the window will refresh. I now have 10 install merchant accounts. To set up a new merchant account, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to where it says add a new gateway to your account. I'm going to choose the different gateway, the gateway that I've set up with, and I'm going to have some additional functions that come up that will ask me for information that I need to put into the system. Each gateway requires different information, so based on the gateway that you choose, AuthorizeNet in this case, it's asking me for AuthorizeNet username and a transaction key. Those are two elements that AuthorizeNet requires to process transactions. Some of the other companies, like if I use USA ePay, they're looking for a key. Or even if I go to somebody like PayFlow Pro, they've got a lot of information that's required: a password, a username, partner, certificate path, quite a few different things that are required. So based on the gateway that you use, you'll be asked for specific information that gateway requires, and you can contact the gateway for that information. They'll point you to where you can get that information. They're the guys who actually supply it. So let's set up a new authorized.net account. I'm just going to put in some fake information in here. And after I get my information put in, I've got the ability of actually setting this in test mode. What that does is that actually will send test transactions. If I'm processing any transactions, it'll send them in to the gateway as a test, so they're not really processed. For the sake of this demo, I'm just going to take that off, and I just click on Save Settings. Once I do that, you'll see that the new gateway is listed on there. You can see on this test account I now have 11 gateways. This is the one we just set up, and you can see it says setup required. Now if you're new to OrderWave and you're setting up your first gateway, you're obviously not going to have 11 gateways already set up. You can have none in here, so this is actually going to be empty when you first go into it. And when you set up the gateway as I just demonstrated to you, you'll only see the one gateway that you set up. Now the reason that this requires additional setup is that you have to come in here to the Edit Processing link, and you have to specify when this gateway is going to be active from and active to. So I'm going to put in a date range of 7/28/2009 to 7/28/2010. It'll give us a 1-year period of time that this gateway is active, and I'm also going to specify that I want this gateway to be used for all order types, whether it's a standard order, business to consumer, a business to business, or continuity order, and really all order types. Whether it's a web order, mobile, or retail order, doesn't really matter. I want to use this gateway for processing all my transactions. If you only wanted to use the gateway for continuity, then you would simply uncheck these and just keep continuity checked off. But in this case, I'm going to have everything checked off, and I'm going to click on the Save Settings button, and you can see that my gateway is now an active gateway. So if I want to make this my primary gateway, you can see the AuthorizeNet right above it is set as the primary gateway. I can actually click on the Edit Processing button again, scroll down to make this a primary gateway, and now the system will automatically make that my main gateway. The primary gateway is the main gateway that the system uses for processing transactions, unless you have some sort of load balancing set up. Also, if I want to go in and let's say that I changed my username and password and I need to update it, I can just click on this Edit Authentication button and I can make whatever changes I want. Or if I want to take my authorized net account off of test mode, I can just take the check mark out of here if I already have it in test mode. So now that I've got my gateway set up, let's say that I wanted to evenly distribute transactions among all my gateways. That would be a load balance setting. And the nice thing about OrderWave 2 is that you can actually have multiple gateways, and you can tell the system that you want to evenly distribute transaction among those gateways, and that's what the load balancing options are set for. So if I don't really care to do load balancing, I could just say none. I don't want to have any load balancing. The system will now just process my transactions based on whatever rules I have set up. So in this case, it's gonna always hit my primary gateway. And it's also going to look at some of these other rules that have been set up. If my primary gateway is only set up to do standard orders, B2C orders, and B2B orders, and then I have another gateway that's set up only to do continuity, then whenever a continuity order is going to be charged, it's only going to hit the continuity gateway, and it's going to hit the primary gateway for everything else. But if I have it set up like this, where I tell it to go ahead and process all transactions, then it'll hit my primary gateway for processing transactions. If I do want to do load balancing, and again, load balancing is when you have more than one merchant account, I can select different load balancing options. I can say that I want to do round robin, or I can do a dollar amount. What the dollar amount does is it will evenly distribute among your gateways. So if you've got let's say $5,000 that you've hit on this gateway, then it's going to move to the next gateway, hit approximately 5,000, then move to the next gateway, and it'll just kind of evenly charge among all the gateways. It's only going to charge the gateways that are active. So if you have any gateways that are inactive or any that are paused, those are not going to be affected by this. It's only going to actually process on the active gateways. One of our favorite load balancing options is round robin. What that does is that lets you change and set up the system so that it evenly distributes and hits each merchant account based on orders that come in. So if you've got an order that comes in for $500, it's going to hit one merchant account. Another order that comes in for $350, it's going to go to the next merchant account, and it's going to shift through all your different merchant accounts and then eventually get back to the first merchant account. So in this case, I clicked on I want to use round robin. You see that this box comes up. It says you're changing from no balancing to round robin balancing. Please select your gateways to do your load balancing. So I'll just go ahead and select some of these gateways down here, and I'm going to say set to round robin. Saves the changes, and I'm going to close it, and now those gateways are set up to evenly be distributed. So that concludes the setup on payment processing. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you very much.